After I went through my own divorce, and fortunately, I was the primary breadwinner in our home, but that also mean I had all the credit card debt. So once we got divorced, it was horrific. I had all the credit card bills because what your listeners need to understand is despite the fact that a judge might tell you to split the debt, if those credit cards are in your name, that's all they care about. You're the one that's on the hook. So unfortunately, that was me. I had to declare bankruptcy. But let me tell you, Tracy, that was the best thing that ever happened to me because I had to learn to live with just the money I was making. There was no credit. And so I think for women in midlife, we become so accustomed to living on credit card debt. We may have college loans still that we're paying off. So to me, it was really important for women in midlife to get set up for their financial future and learn to become financially independent.
You bring up such a good point about the debt. And I hear this all the time working with women in divorce who are saying, my husband was supposed to pay the debt. The judge put the debt towards him or put a particular amount of the debt that he was supposed to pay off and he hasn't paid it off. And what do I do now? And a lot of times bankruptcy is the option because the credit card company doesn't care what the judge said. The IRS doesn't care what the judge said. What I teach women is that if there is going to be some sort of split of the debt, any debt that has your name on it, if he's taking it, try to force him to refinance that, be it transfer it to a new credit card in his name only, get a home equity loan, pay off what you've got, get a personal loan, pay off anything in your name. Not always possible. In fact, a lot of times not possible. A lot of times you've got to just pray that he pays it off. But gosh, so important.
Well, and I love what you talk about because so many women unfortunately naively believe that they know everything that's going on in their husband's life or partner's life in terms of finances. I have literally had clients where paper was put under their nose and they didn't know they were signing off on a home equity line of credit. They had no clue. They were just signing papers because they trusted their husband. And look, we should never go into a marriage not trusting our partner, but we also need to be smart. At the end of the day, this is a contract and you would never sign anything, do anything without having all the terms and conditions up front.
Well, we talk in the Divorce Money Guide about red flags of financial fraud and how would you know if something is going wrong with the money? And one of the things we talk about is, have you been asked to sign documents without having an opportunity to look at them or understand them? Is he coercing you to sign documents? Have you signed tax returns without knowing what was in them? Or even worse, now in this day and age of electronic filing of tax returns, so many women are in a position where their husbands filed a tax return that they never saw. Because electronically, you can just say, yep, that person signed off and agreed. And you can be put in a really bad position like that.
And that's what, from a money mindset perspective, I really try to talk to women about because they have probably grown up in a family where dad took care of all the bills. Mom didn't worry about it. And so there's this inbred thought of, it's okay. He'll take care of it all. I'm not smart about money. Or maybe you grew up in a household where you never had to worry about money. There was so much. And so women usually have a lot of stories and backgrounds about not being financially smart. I don't have a head for money. That's bullshit. I hope I can swear.
You can.
But thank you. That is absolutely bullshit. There's no such thing as not having a head for money. Look, this is something that every woman could and should learn. We need to understand about money. And it's simple. It's easy to do.
Right? You don't have to be great with numbers. You don't have to be an accountant to understand money. So what does it mean to be financially independent? Because that's one thing that you really advocate for women. I do as well. But, what does that mean? Does it mean quitting your job and running around the world? Or does it mean something else to you?
I would love to quit my job and run around the world, but no, that is not what it means. Financially independent means being able to pay your bills on your own, have your own credit, have your own account so that you know exactly what's going on. You are never beholden to somebody else to pay bills. And look, I know we're talking about divorce, but this can happen if your spouse dies, if they become critically injured, if something happens. You absolutely need to be able to understand everything about your financial situation so that moving forward, you feel confident and at peace. Because we've all had those problems where we wake up in the middle of the night with that knot in our stomach because we're nervous about bills. What you understand, you will never be nervous about again. So one of the top things I say to women is you have to look at your accounts every day. How many times have we not, looked at our bank accounts because we were so scared about it? We just forgot about it. But what we do on a daily basis, that ends the fear. And then you have to have the sign in the passwords for every account, every life insurance, everything. You need to understand what is in there and you need to be able to access it.
If you're looking at it every day, you're going to become more comfortable with it. At the beginning, you might feel like a fish out of water. You don't know necessarily what you're looking at. But, when we talk in the Divorce Money Guide about getting all your bank account statements, that sounds really overwhelming if you haven't been involved before. And then you take it to the next step and you think, oh my God, I'm going to get all these statements and then do what with them? And I say, let's not worry about that yet. First of all, let's just get them because having them in your hands is empowering in and of itself. But once you have them, I say, let's just take a look down the list of transactions and see what we see. You know your family, and you're going to probably see some transactions that you have questions about. Again, you didn't need any special skills to know that, but it's just thinking about our family. Why was there a hotel stay in a city an hour away or something like that, right?
Exactly. And it's not even just those. I think one of the biggest traps we all fall into are those annual subscriptions, those automatic renewals. I mean, especially like for streaming things now, everything. So that's why it's so important to look. And even if there's not something going on, there can be mistakes on your account. You have to look at that. In this day and age where there are so many financial scams, you need to be alert and on top of it. And yeah, once you it's kind of like going to the gym, right? You may feel uncomfortable that first time you walk in and intimidated, but the more you go, the more comfortable you become. That's exactly like looking at your bank accounts every day. You become more comfortable with it. And that's what's important here.